Dan Leach back here in beautiful New York City at the Benzinga Financial Tech and FODA Awards. We're having a great time, and I'm sitting down with my man, Dan Raju, the CEO of Tradier. Great to see you. Having a good time so far yourself?
It's been great. It's been a lot of fun. Thank you for having me.
So it's really my pleasure and honor. Let's talk about what Tradier does, but then we're going to have a broader discussion about where we're at in this business right now.
So Tradier is, one of the new generation brokerages who's primarily focused on the active trader. And what we have tried to bring to the table in this monotonous world of giving an application, asking people to trade with some confusing costs.
Right.
What we have tried to do is to offer a responsible offering, and that is to bring a good concept of choice. Number one, and number two is good concept of content, that is education, and very transparent subscription-based pricing. And that has got us today to the size where we are. The fundamentals of Tradier are fairly simple. It comes down to just do the right thing every time and keep doing it again and again, and your customers will eventually love you. So that's kind of the concept. So it has got us to this size and scale with that simple concept of, good choice of product, good choice of content,
right,
and pricing. So.
Well, Dan, I think we're, I've said this a lot today. We're at a very fascinating point, I believe, in the business of trading and the crypto markets and all these things that are emerging. And it's also, to me, it seems like a very prescient time as well, where not that things are going to just, go off the deep end, but that it's, I think, a very important time for people like Tradier to give that education, to help people figure out the smartest ways to do things. Where do you see the business at right now?
I think the market needs a responsible player. And I think people gravitate towards a responsible offering rather than shoot from the hip all the time. So I look at Tradier as that very mature, responsible offering in the market, and which attracts the more active trader in the market. So if you think about the market, there are the early stage applications who are mostly offering free commissions and a few panels and asking people to trade. And on the other end, you've got professional traders. There's an entire spectrum in between of active retail pro-tail customers. They have basically been left aside with not a responsible offering. And mostly, even the offerings that are there are mostly, get the numbers up and sell. And that has been the concept. So we kind of don't want to be that player. And I think where we see that heading is basically when we educate that customer base well, it creates a robust ecosystem of responsible, mature, what I call sustainable customer base with efficiencies in terms of support and costs that the traditional brokers don't have. So it is that concept of being that responsible player in the market that has got us to where we are.
And you make such an important point because that and it's a huge segment of the people that are involved in this space that feel maybe kind of left behind or that don't feel like they have a place yet. To bring them in and have them be productive, like you mentioned, not only is it good for the ecosystem, but it's just going to continue to help the whole thing grow, right?
Correct. It really helps them grow, number one. And I think people sometimes blow themselves up only because they don't know what to do. So I think 90% of the people who blow themselves up just don't know the alternatives of what is there in the market. So what we do at Tradier is we have our own educational channel called The Hub, where we do 15 to 17 live shows a week. We have our own educational events in partnership with CBOE and other firms that we go ahead and do. Plus, at the same time, we have a very large ecosystem of API partners, almost 300 plus of them. We push everyone through that education so that when customers choose it, they have all the information they need. And we combine that with good support and great service. So it attracts the customer, keeps him in the market for longer. It attracts the customer. Our average account size is almost double or triple what's in the market. Right. And the good part about those kind of customers is they trade in mostly all kinds of markets. They're not like the guy who has got $100 in his account, trades himself and kills himself out of the market.
Right.
So if you provide them, and for that we partner with hundreds of educators to provide them, responsible educators to provide them and help them avoid get quick rich schemes and stuff like that. I think that has really helped us grow.
That's perfectly said. Now I'm going to ask you to put your Marty McFly time machine future hat on, if you will. And let's, spin it forward 2, 5, 10 years. Where do you see this space going and how do you see Tradier fitting into it?
So see the trends that we see in the market today, that's an indication of where things will go. Broadly speaking, you're seeing quite a bit of what we call as last mile automation. It's not people placing stop orders or limit orders, but customers using technology to automate that last mile.
Right.
So it's not algorithmic trading, it's not retail trading, it's somewhere in between. There is massive growth in that segment. So I see that segment fundamentally, and I saw that at the Benzinga event, quite a few platforms are talking about automation, so it's an important thing. And I see that trend taking up. The second trend I also see is the fact that the hunger for content among traders, the need for more amount of content is massively raising. So I think anybody who plays in that field has only good to come for it, number two. And we're also seeing an internationalization of the brokerage market. A lot of international customers coming into the US and wanting to trade in the US markets. And I think a responsible way to go to them is to not try to pop up numbers and accounts, but to go to them with an offering. For example, what we tried to do recently is, for the first time, Tradier has opened up a Spanish channel. So we have partnerships where we train Spanish traders, we provide Spanish customer support, and we do those kinds of stuff for the international business. So I think the automation number one, education number two, and internationalization number three will be the big area. And one more area, like I said, will be important for us to sit and watch is how is the regulatory environment changing, particularly in the concept in the area of crypto. So right now it's in a confused state. The government has really not made itself really clear on what the policy around crypto is. 2024, 25, I expect not only it to be directional, but it expected to be concrete. So that'll actually will decide how important crypto assets get for all of us.
You're definitely helping a lot of people traverse a very exciting, but very intriguing space at times. Dan Raju, CEO of Tradier, such a pleasure to sit down with you.
Thank you so much for having me.
Pleasure and honor's all mine.
Thank you.